Paris Saint-Germain and mainly Luis Enrique is looking for a midfielder in the January transfer window. As reported by Bruno Salomon and Le Parisien, PSG is indeed thinking of signing a midfielder in January. Paris already has a list of experienced players in midfield ready. Justin, Luis Enrique wants an experienced midfielder in January. The Spaniard wants a midfielder that is immediately capable of integrating into his playing style and that also has experience playing in the Champions League. PSG's idea is to sign an experienced midfielder in January on a permanent move, non-loan with an option to buy. Paris has enough money for their targets due to the savings from the wage bill. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain play with either a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 as we recently have been playing with, which means we play with a 6, we play with an 8 box-to-box and an offensive 8. We've already pretty much bought Gabriel Moscardo from Corinthians for around 25 million euros, so we're looking for more of a box-to-box midfielder in my opinion. And in this video, I thought we would look at 3 kind of players. First of all, let's look at the players that Paris Saint-Germain have already been linked with and have shown interest to. Number 2, I will bring up potential targets that Paris Saint-Germain could potentially go after. And number 3, I'll be going through Paris Saint-Germain's dream signings that we could potentially sign in this January transfer window. As the first report mentioned, Paris Saint-Germain already have a list of experienced midfielders, so I'm here to try and guess it. Adrien Rabiot, obviously we're linked with him for a while, a return to Paris Saint-Germain, but I don't see it happening because he just extended on a 1-year extension at Juventus, and I believe Juventus would like to keep him for at least the rest of the season. They could potentially see him go for a free in the summer, but they would like to keep him because they're in to win the Scudetto in Serie A this season, and he only has 6 months left on his contract, so if he leaves, he would obviously want a signing bonus, signing on a free for his new club. Mikel Merino is another player that Paris Saint-Germain have been linked with, mostly due to Luis Enrique, and obviously he was a player that used to play under him in the Spanish national team. He is a player that could suit Lucho's playstyle, that box-to-box role. He would add height and physicality into that midfield, and he's definitely a target with him having also Champions League experience. Next up, Youssouf Fofana. Again, he doesn't have the experience Lucho is looking for, but he's a player Paris Saint-Germain have been linked with for a while and could potentially happen. Next up, Florentino Luis, a player that Luis Campos rates a lot and Paris Saint-Germain have been interested in a while. It's very likely to happen because he wants to leave. Benfica would want to sell him and Paris Saint-Germain are open for him to come. Next up, Højbjerg from Tottenham Hotspurs. This is a player that Paris Saint-Germain have shown interest to and could potentially join Paris Saint-Germain, but similarly to Rabiot, with his contract ending in the summer, I see Paris Saint-Germain getting him for potentially a free in the summer if they would want to. João Neves from Benfica is also a target for Paris Saint-Germain. The youngster has been incredible for Benfica this season and it would cost a lot of money, around the 50 to 60 million mark, to get him out of Benfica. But he does not meet the experience requirements, so I don't see it happening. Obviously, João Palhinha had his failed move to Bayern München in the summer and it looks like Bayern München are moving away from targeting him. So maybe Paris Saint-Germain could go for Palhinha, who has been a target for Luis Campos for over 2 years. Lastly, Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, similarly to Merino, has some kind of Champions League experience and has played a little bit under Luis Enrique with the Spanish national team, and Paris Saint-Germain have shown interest to him. This could be something to look out for. Kefran Thuram has been a target for Paris Saint-Germain for a long time, and PSG will yet again go back for him in January, with both Nasser and Luis Campos liking the Kefran Thuram file, so he could definitely be an option. Manu Kone from Borussia Mönchengladbach has been fighting through injuries this season so far, but he's also been a target long time for Paris Saint-Germain and is very likely again to come in January to Paris Saint-Germain. Next up, potential players that Paris Saint-Germain could be signing they haven't shown any interest to regards to reports. First of all, Thomas Partey from Arsenal. He's not had the minutes he would like now with them signing Declan Rice, and he would be a great signing for Paris Saint-Germain, obviously having Champions League experience from his time at Atletico Madrid. Another one is Goretzka. Obviously, Bayern München would like to offload him, but again, with his contract ending in the summer, I see Goretzka waiting until the summer to get that signing on bonus. Ismail Ben Nasser, we obviously know how poor the Italian clubs are, especially a club like AC Milan. He could be a target for Paris Saint-Germain. The only bad thing about him is he just came back from a hefty long injury and it's a bit of a risk. Another one is Koke from Atletico Madrid, obviously previously played with Luis Enrique in the Spanish national team, and he could be actually a potential target for Paris Saint-Germain, having tons of experience, especially in the Champions League. Lastly, we got the two Napoli boys, Lobotka and Piotr Zielinski from Napoli. Both of them would be good signings for Paris Saint-Germain to try to pick up, with both of them having a short contract remaining at Napoli. We have come to the best part of this video, the 4 dream signings for Paris Saint-Germain. Number 1, Dani Olmo. Obviously, Dani Olmo is a player we were linked with at the end of the summer transfer window, a player that Lucho likes, a player that played a lot under Lucho with the Spanish national team. Could Leipzig sell him in the winter? It all depends on if we put up a hefty price tag and they can find a replacement. Next up, Nico Barella, obviously extremely unrealistic, but with him having not the best form at Inter Milan, and as I said previously, the Italian clubs are so broke that if we put in a 100 million bid, they would have to accept. Bruno Guimaraes, recent opponent in the Champions League, could be a name that Paris Saint-Germain go after. He has that Ligue 1 experience. Obviously, does not have the Champions League experience that Lucho is looking for, but he would be a great addition for Paris Saint-Germain. Lastly but not least, Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea FC. We obviously know how bad Chelsea are at the moment, and a player with Enzo's qualities, a recent World Cup winner, would obviously love to move on for that club and upgrade to a club like Paris Saint-Germain. But again, very unrealistic. But if PSG want to do it, they could potentially go after it. Realistic names I could see Paris Saint-Germain going for in the January transfer window is Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad, Youssouf Fofana from Monaco, Florentino Luis from Benfica, Joao Palhinha from Fulham, Kefran Thuram, Manu Kone. Could potentially see a Dani Olmo joining Paris Saint-Germain. Let me know in the comments down below, people. Try to guess the midfielder Paris Saint-Germain are looking for. I tried to find names, but maybe there is a name that I haven't mentioned that Paris Saint-Germain will go after. That's been it, and as usual, allez Paris!